Okay, hello there ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another benchmarking comparison between Ubuntu 14.10 and the recently updated Windows 8.1. This time around I'm using the game Metro Redux, so that includes Metro 2033 and Last Light, so I'm mixing them both into one video. The drivers I'm using on Linux is 346.59 and on Windows it's the 350.12. Okay, so first things first, I've turned off Tesselation on the Windows version because Linux doesn't actually have that option. And I'm doing the benchmark on triple screen because Linux, stupidly enough, doesn't have the resolution options in the graphics settings. And they don't work properly if you change them in the ini file. So we've got a disadvantage there, but yeah. Anyway, they're both running on the exact same graphical settings and on the same resolution. And as you can already see, Linux actually has an advantage, and it's running a lot faster than what the Windows version is. And this is the first game that I've come across this, where Linux is consistently better on frame rate wise. I saw that Penguin Recordings actually did a video for this, and he actually had similar results. And I just wanted to test it for myself. But as you can see here, the minimum for Linux had 0, so it dipped at a certain point, and the max was 142, and the average was actually 56.12, whereas on 53.12, sorry, whereas on, oh god damn it, it changed then. I think the average was 43 on Windows, which is a very big difference, and that's a fair amount, to be honest. That's 10 frames per second faster than what it is on Windows. But as you can see, I ran both of them through the scene twice just to get the best results and get a fairer advantage. Not advantage, sorry, a fairer result, so to say. But yeah, this is a really good start from Linux. So I wonder if it will carry on into Last Light. So that's up next. But as you can see, Windows actually has a UI for the benchmark, so you can launch the game with certain settings and all that sort of good stuff, whereas with Linux you have to sort of run it through the terminal, and you have to change any settings when you run the game in Steam, which is a bit of a pain, which is why I was showing the graphics first on Windows, whereas I can't show it on Linux. Okay, so looking at it here, Last Light is actually the longy. It is longer benchmark, and as you can see, it is kicking off quite. It seems quite level there. Actually, they're both whacking out 35 to 40 FPS. Linux is edging ahead every now and again. As you can see, they're 43 compared to 40 FPS. So Linux does still have a slight advantage, so it's not doing bad at all, especially considering this game is very, very high-end. What I also forgot to mention at the start is I've turned off SSAA, which is known as super sampling anti-aliasing. This is similar to Uber sampling on The Witcher 2, which I turned off for my next benchmark, which you'll see in the next couple of days. And it just takes a massive hit, a massive chunk off of the frame rate, and it is so, I don't know, it may look nice, but the performance hit is just not worth it. And this is actually where things get interesting. So if you just watch the frame rate here, as a massive explosion happens, with Linux consistently on 50 FPS there, it's locking itself on there, and boom, look at that, 38, 40 frames a second on Linux, whereas Windows was dipping there to, oh, it's going crazy actually. I could see 2s there and 3s, so it was like 20 to 40 FPS on Windows, whereas Linux is constantly at, well, above 30 FPS. If Metro does in the future introduce the resolution settings in the game, I will redo this benchmark in 1080p, as I do want to see it myself, as obviously triple screen does make a massive hit on the performance. So to see that we're getting, look at that, 55 FPS, that is incredible, especially on 5760 by 1080, that's amazing. This is why I want to see it on 1080p, so please, devs, if you see this video, which I highly doubt you will, implement bloody resolution settings into the Linux version. It's bloody common sense, my goodness. But yeah, look at that, that's incredible speeds, that's really good. As I said, it's all fair. I haven't tampered with either of them to for them to run better. But as you can see, minimum 0 on Linux again, so it had a random spike, but the max is 111, and the average being 44 frames per second, which is very decent. As you look at the Windows one, scroll up, there you go. Average frame rate is 38.5, so that's 8 difference or something like that. Max frame rate, it had a better max frame rate actually, but and a better minimum, but still the average was better on Linux. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this benchmark, and rate and subscribe for future benchmarks and Linux related content. Thank you for watching guys, peace out, see you later.